Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, it's working.
Good
Success.
deal. Yeah. Thank you for setting it up.
Yeah, I wonder where our other group members are.
I don't know.
I haven't seen Matthew respond to any of the email thread that I have messaged on. So I don't know if he's looked at the module for this week or what. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I just got the impression from what Anita had said that she had gotten a hold of everybody, so
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if there was a definite time or not.
Well, I just assumed it was 5:15. And so then when it wasn't 5:15, I was like, oh no, because I've got other stuff to do later. So
No, I understand. Yeah, I got the impression they were saying like everybody's free after 5:15, but I don't know what time they decided on, if any.
okay. Okay. Well, anyways, hopefully they'll see my email and join us.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Cadence, by the way.
Liam, nice to meet you.
I'm in Ottawa, Kansas.
I'm out in Topeka.
Topeka. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
And what semester are you in or are you in transition to teaching program or are you different?
Yeah, transition to teaching.
Okay, cool. So is this your
And
second year?
yeah, second year in it. Yours?
Yep, same.
Good deal.
I'm ready to wrap it up.
Yeah. It won't be too long.
Yeah. Okay, so this video, that we're supposed to discuss how childhood trauma affects health across a lifetime. I've watched
Hmm.
this video multiple times before. I've seen this video before, but I didn't rewatch it again recently. So
Right.
the things that I'm remembering from it that really stuck out to me are the fight or flight brain versus a cause and effect brain, and how that affects like their decision making, and then also how the high levels of cortisol have long-term health effects. So those are really the two things that really stuck with me from watching this video previously and then recognizing it again. But other than that, I'm not really sure. So
Yeah, no, I was going to say similar. I'm pretty sure I've had it for another course in the transition to teaching program. So I know I'd seen it at least once before. So I was kind of just refreshing my mind on some of the things with it. Yeah, I'd made a couple of notes and I'll reference them really quick. When you're talking about the flight or fight essence of it, that was one of the things that kind of stood out to me in the first place. I mean, I know that especially for very young developmental stages, there's been a lot of evidence that shows that like neural pathways and things like that get really messed with whenever trauma is a component of a child's life. And so I didn't know if part of the results they were talking about are age dependent at all. That was one thing that I wasn't 100% sure, is if it has a bigger impact the younger the kid is versus if they're older. Um, and it's very similar to something that we actually see. So with my transition to teaching thing, I used to be in the zoo field. Before this, I used to work for the zoo here in town, actually. There's a term called capture myopathy. So if an animal, especially like small hoofed animals and stuff like that, that really are skittish around people, if they get caught up a lot and their cortisol shoots up, it can have adverse physical side effects on them. It can actually affect their physical function. It can weaken muscles. Sometimes it causes heart failure. So it's one of those things that we have to look out for in that line of work. And I think this is very similar that, you know, if they're, like you said, exposed to that really high cortisol level, it has all these physical symptoms and it's really detrimental to a child's health and, I mean, by extension, their ability to learn.
yeah. I went to the Bridge to Resilience conference that they had last spring, and it talked a lot about this. And so, like, an example that they were giving that kind of stuck with me on like how someone who's experienced like toxic trauma like over and over again, how their brain fires. It was like showing this video of like this little girl like walking along the road, like they're like, okay, this is like normal. Like you're walking along the road, do, and then bus comes straight at you. Panic, you know?
Right.
They're like that firing right there where you like kind of like disconnect from like, what do I do, you know? And they're like, okay, here's somebody who's facing toxic stress from trauma. And it's like someone walking across the road, and it's just like bus, 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 car, 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 like over and over. Hold on, my dog is freaking out right now.
No, I understand. I can't even hear it. I mean, I don't know if you can hear it on my end. I have a cat who's crying outside the door.
It's probably a cat walking outside, honestly, is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
She's freaking out. Maxie, you're fine. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I just heard her growling, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Right. Always good to check.
But yeah, so that part of it, then it was like, I went at that Bridge to Resilience conference that they were all talking about toxic trauma and toxic stress. And so something else they were showing that was really cool, which now I'm kind of getting off topic from the video, but it was showing like pictures of the brains when they fire like that. And it was showing how like the bottom part of your brain that like it's the front part of your brain that controls like your decision making, like up here. It was showing like when they fired, when they're in that panic, like the whole front part of your brain was like totally like just disconnected. Like it's just like shut off, like not firing at all. And it's all like just like, just impulse in the back. And
right.
so the way that like relates to like classroom strategies, they talked a lot about how, physically they do not have the capability to make a rational decision and calm down when they're in that frame of mind. They need at least 5 minutes and a drink of water to flush out the cortisol and to kind of reset until they can look back and then be like, oh yeah, that was a bad decision. Like they can't make good decisions in that time because the whole front part of their brain is just shut off. So for me, like I have a lot of students that have a trauma background. And so for me, it's just, that's really helped me a lot with like understanding that they can't rationalize right now. Like they need time to calm down. And so, when they get upset, just kind of like removing them from the situation and saying, hey, I need you to go get a drink and then come back and we'll talk after a couple of minutes. Saying, hey, why don't you take yourself out in the hall and calm yourself down, and as soon as you feel better, come back in and we'll have a discussion, and like there's like obviously some you can't like let them do that on their own, but there are some that you can, that they know it too, that I need to cool off,
Yeah.
So that's been like part of my classroom strategy this past year, just having that knowledge and how I've applied it in the classroom. But
yeah, especially if you can plan ahead with kids that already, like you said, if they recognize it in themselves and they're like, look, this is something that I need from time to time. I've definitely had kids come forward with me like that. I teach in an alternative high school, and so we have a decent amount of our population deals with a decent amount of hefty trauma depending on their situation. Some of them do come from situations where they're either homeless or they're emancipated from their parents for one reason or another, or they may be struggling on a socioeconomic front. And so a lot of them, because they're high stress, we do see, not in every single case, but there could be like a tendency for some of those acting out kind of behaviors that can happen in those situations. And yeah, I mean, I think it's a similar stance. We either give them an opportunity to pull that themselves. We try to make sure that they have access to our school social worker or our guidance counselor if they're available. I mean, it's tough when multiple students want to talk with those people, but or if there's another teacher that they really like and trust, and that teacher is free enough to take that student to their class just to have them chill out there. Sometimes we'll do stuff like that. So yeah, I would agree that, it's important to come up with strategies with those kids.
Yeah. I have one who he's got like I call it a cool card, but it's just a blue card. And he literally, like because he'll go from like 0 to 100 like super fast. And he's gotten so much better because I had him last year too. And I didn't have him in 6th grade year. And teachers have told me just from 6th grade to last year was a huge improvement. And I was kind of like, But so from last year to this year, I can even tell he's had some major improvement, and he will, when he starts getting pissed, he'll like just look, he'll be like, you know,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
go, you know, and he'll take himself out, and he'll literally be out there for like 1 minute, and then
Mhm.
he'll bring himself back in, and he'll be fine. You know, like he just needs a second so he doesn't say or do something to that person who's making him really upset when they may not even know that they did something that made him upset, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. We have some clients who are high anxiety, and they'll do kind of something similar where they may just have some sort of signal that they to let you know, like, hey, I'm going to the library or I'm going to the cafeteria to go calm down. And yeah, I mean, I think those are good strategies for those students, and it's good if you can establish that kind of stuff with them. Um, One of the things that I wasn't sure about with this assignment, I'm looking back at the instructions now.
Yeah.
I know part of what we're looking at um, is talking about the reaction to the video. And then it talks about briefly discuss what each group member will discuss, I think, in terms of analyzing the video, which, I mean, I know that we'll want to talk with the other people from our group to kind of dissect that part.
Yeah.
But did you have any thoughts as far as the presentation portion of it, what you were wanting to cover?
No, I just wrote down that we needed to cover concepts from the reading.
Mm-hmm.
We need to talk about how we work with families or students who have experienced trauma, and then how we modify our classroom or practice to be more trauma sensitive. So those are the three things I wrote down that we kind of need to split up and talk about. And it's 15 to 30 minutes. So
Mm-hmm.
if there's four of us, we could each do like 5 minutes.
Right.
I
Yeah, I
think
think that's yeah, I think that would be very doable, and I think those are good highlights as far as picking apart what would be important for presenting on it.
yeah. So I don't really have a preference. I don't mind talking about any of it. Like, so.
Right, and we could probably, whether it's via email or a Google document or whatever, like if we're doing a combination of like what we all do in our different classrooms, if one person's presenting it, we could give data to that one person about like, oh, here's my classroom strategies, and we can kind of smush them together.
Yeah. Okay. That'll be good.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what to do since our other people haven't joined us. We might just,
Yeah, I would just make sure that you at least save this recording, because we can at least submit that. If we have multiple meetings or whatever, we can send multiple recordings to the professor. Um,
do
but
we
yeah,
need to submit this initial? I didn't think we needed to submit the initial one. We were just supposed to have one to plan. Well, no, it said document your minutes. Is that the thing?
I think. Sorry, I'm gonna look back at it too.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. This is very complicated. Discussion board. I gotta look on the discussion board.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I would save the recording just to be on the safe side, but I think you might be right that maybe the main submission that they want is just the presentation.
Okay, let's see here. Mod 5. I went on Blackboard and clicked on their like group manager thing,
Uh-huh.
like find my group, and then it like added me into a group with some random people. I'm like, this is not who I was assigned. This is not working. This is not right.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can see why so many places are transitioning out of Blackboard, because it is so not user friendly. And yeah, when I was trying to find stuff about our group or try to message people in our group through that, I was like, this is not working out. I'm glad that they mentioned just going through Google Plus. I think that worked out a lot better.
Okay, I'm still looking. Okay, Anita posted Oh, well, I didn't see this, but she posted something that says Matthew and Cadence respond ASAP. Liam and I are available on 14th and 15th. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, here Sean says, one person from each group should post your minutes from your first Zoom planning meeting. At the top of your page, put all the members of the group that participated in that meeting. The second Zoom meeting will be submitted on Blackboard. Please create a YouTube link for the video. Remember to record the meeting. One person in the group should cut and paste the link in the assignment section in the comments section on Blackboard. What? One person in the group should cut and paste the link in the assignment section in the comments section on Blackboard.
I think like when you make a submission, that the little comment section, you're just like copying and pasting the link of that recording, I guess, if it's uploaded to a specific site or if it's accessible through Zoom. Like if Zoom recordings are accessible through a link, then maybe that's what they mean.
Okay. I'm just confused because it says post it in the assignment section, and then the second sentence it says in the comments section on Blackboard. I don't know what that means.
I think when you click on the assignment, like the heading of it, and then when it has the space for comments, like what you can type out, I think they just want the link in there.
Okay. Like when it, like that spot where it says write your submission?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Because I've done that before. I've like posted links in there before, but okay. And then it says list all the members of your group. And that's it.
Gotcha. Well, trying to think if this okay.
I'm surprised Anita has not looked at her emails or responded.
Yeah, I don't know. If you, when we're done with this conversation, I can contact you via email, and then if it's possible for me to look at the recording, I'm okay with submitting the minutes for at least this meeting between the two of us. And then if either I'm able to get into a meeting with the other two later on, or if they're able to have a meeting with one another, maybe they'll have to do minutes for one between them or whatever. But I think the categories you came up with were good, and I'll make sure to put that in the minutes, and we can figure out how we want to divide that up.
Okay. Yeah, we could just make one Google Doc and maybe like build a table with the 3 categories, and then we could just all share it and add on like what we want to say. And then we could kind of plan it ahead of time. That might work.
That sounds good.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, anything else you want to add?
Not that I can think of. Thanks again for setting it up. I'm sorry that we didn't get things coordinated the way that we wanted to, but
that's okay. I'm glad we're able to do something, get it going at least. I was worried about it not working. I'm like, great, technical difficulties. But
no, I think it's working fine, but
okay, so after we end this, I'm gonna try and upload it to my YouTube channel, and then I will email you the link to that, and then you can let me know if you can't view it, and then I'll try something else. So
sounds good.
That'll be the plan.
All right. Awesome.
Thanks.
No, thank you.
Yep.
Nice meeting you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Okay. I stopped the meeting. It's still recording. Okay.